Namaskar. I myself, Dr. Dinkar Vasekar, welcomes all of you on behalf of Narshardul channel. On this channel, today we'll try to understand and know the something about the Uniform Civil Code. We'll try to understand what is the Uniform Civil Code. It's a necessity, it's an importance, it's a benefit for India, and also pros and cons of this code. So just to understand the Uniform Civil Code in a better way, we'll see actually what it is. But before that, I would like to request you to go to this channel very attentively and like it, share it, and subscribe it. Okay, come on, we'll have a discussion and just a conversation like things on this particular topic subject called as a Common or Uniform Civil Code of India. What it is actually, you see, just to understand the Uniform Civil Code in a better way, first of all, we'll have to understand the background of the Uniform Civil Code. So, regarding the understanding of the Uniform Civil Code, what we are supposed to understand is about the features of the India. Ours is the country ruled by the Indian Constitution. The secularism is the one of the main pillars of the Indian Constitution. And according to this secularism, all people are equal before the law. It means the law is equally applicable to the people of India throughout its territory, irrespective of caste, creed, sex, and also the religion, and not to speak of the race. So when the law of the land or other laws are common and they are applicable to the all people uniformly, then also there is a characteristic of the Indian Constitution that our country is also having many faiths, beliefs, and religions. Now, and try to understand that these religions, which are of different types, are having different sets of rules governed by this religion known as a personal laws. Now, say for example, there are different sets of rules or laws in the different communities belonging to different religions. Say for example, regarding the marriage, regarding the divorce, regarding the maintenance, regarding the inheritance, and also regarding the adoption. The laws are differently applicable personally, and also they are differently applicable from time to time, from place to place. So, on one hand, there is a law which is common to all people and applicable equally to the all people. On the other hand, Indian characteristic is that there are the different sets of laws belonging to different religions, and these laws are called as personal laws. Now try to understand about these different laws applicable to different communities under different religions. Say, for example, the religions are in India like Hindu, Mohammedans, Isai or Christian, Jews, and Parsis. So these religions are having their own different personal laws which govern the marriage, divorce, and inheritance or succession of these people according to their characters, their traditions, their cultures, and their customs. Now, what is happening because of the application of the different religious personal laws to the different communities? The problems are created. Some difficulties have arisen. What are those problems? What are those difficulties? The first of all is that these different religious personal laws, mainly they are causing harm to the woman. In what sense? The women are unequally treated. they are discriminated against the woman, particularly the men, and also the human rights are also violated by the men. Now why this is happening? Because the majority of the religions are dominated by patriarchal system, where male persons dominate in the society, and also woman class is somewhat repressed. Now what is the again problem which arises because of these differences? Or say for example, different application of the these personal laws in the form of religion to the different communities. The important thing is that now today's is modern society. We are living in a civilized society and we are marching ahead on the progressive path. The people, young generation, they are coming together. There is a homogenization of the society, and under these conditions, under these circumstances, because of various personal laws in the matter of divorce, for example marriage, some difficulties are created. Because of these problems, because of these grievances, the people, particularly young generation, is harassed. And to overcome these grievances, for the redressal of these grievances, they approach the court. Because of the again and again an approach by the various people in the courts, the courts are also burdened with the cases belonging to these personal laws. Again, main thing is that because of that, there is the delay in the justice because of the personal laws which are different and applicable to different religions regarding matters like marriage and divorce. I am telling again and again that. So, what is the remedy? What should be done? To understand all these things, we'll try to understand some important case laws, how the people and court faces the problem regarding the personal laws. Say, just first of all, we'll take the important case. Just this case has been brought before this Delhi High Court. What Delhi High Court has said in this case? The Delhi High Court says that the young generation is breaking the barricades of caste religion. It is marching ahead, but it is facing problems regarding the personal laws. In this particular case, there was a Meena couple from the Meena community, for example. The husband applied for the divorce under section 13(1) of the Hindu Marriage Act. But the wife said, since she belongs to the Meena community, which is under specified notified scheduled tribe, she cannot be governed by the Hindu Marriage Act. So she may not be granted divorce. When the case was brought before the High Court, then what was the remedy before the High Court? The High Court temporarily stayed the case, but said that unless and until Uniform Civil Code is applied to all people, irrespective of caste, creed, there will not be the homogeneity of the society, and again problems will create from time to time. We'll take the second case, which is of landmark judgment, known as the Shah Banu case of 1985. In that case, what happened? A divorced Muslim woman approached the Supreme Court for the maintenance. Before Supreme Court, the problem was that the woman was belonging to the Muslim community and there was no law as such for the maintenance. So Supreme Court delivered the judgment based on the section 125 of the Criminal Procedure Code and granted maintenance to her. But immediately in 1986, then the Parliament passed the law and nullified the judgment of Supreme Court and said that particularly this woman cannot get the maintenance beyond the iddat period after the dissolution or after the divorce of the marriage. Means she is entitled to get maintenance for up to the iddat period. You see, again the Supreme Court reiterated in this case that there should be uniform civil code. Now in second case, again in third case, in Daniel Latif case, however, Supreme Court extended the maintenance period of the divorced Muslim woman till she gets remarried or she gets another source for the livelihood. I will cite one another important landmark judgment of the Supreme Court. What it is, the Supreme Court in Sarla Mudgal case of the 1995 said that the woman which is married under the Hindu Act is entitled to live together with the husband. She will not get the license, particular divorce unless until the divorce is granted by the court under the Hindu Marriage Act. But meanwhile, what this person, male person, husband did, it deceived the woman, embraced the Islam and married a second wife. What Supreme Court said in this court, that still first marriage of the Hindu couple exists, the second marriage is invalid. Again here, the need for or need of the Uniform Civil Code is felt. Again I will cite one important case law, that is about the Shaira Banu. In this case, Supreme Court said that fundamental rights 14, 15 and 21 cannot be violated by the religion. Religion is preserved as long as it does not violate the fundamental rights of the woman. Again, there are some instances where Supreme Courts and High Courts said that because of these different religious laws, different personal laws, the problems are faced not by the society but also by the court, and hence the need of the Uniform Civil Code. It is almost required in present modern civilized society. Now we have understood the importance of the Uniform Civil Code. So now we will try to understand what is the Uniform Civil Code. In simple terms, it simply means a law, a common law, a civil law which is applied, which can be applied uniformly to all people of the Indian territories. Also, try to understand that the provision for the Uniform Civil Code was made by the constitutional framers in the Indian Constitution's directive principles. They were aware of the problems faced by the different personal religious laws in different communities. So, what the constitutional framers said, they said that state shall endure to secure Uniform Civil Code for all its people which are spread throughout the territory of India. Now, when Uniform Civil Code is also said, prescribed under the Indian Constitution laws Article 44, then again the question arises how to pass it and how to implement. At the time of passing or making the Constitution, there was stiff opposition within the constitutional framers, who hence they just postponed the passing and said that future generation will take care of this Uniform Civil Code, but they directed to make it uniform, applicable to all people irrespective of caste, creed and religion. Also regarding this Uniform Civil Code, the courts has said again and again something. What the Supreme Court has said from time to time regarding this passing and implementation of the Uniform Civil Code, the court said that in any way the personal laws of different religions, they are not in any way connected to the religion. It means the religions should be divested from these personal laws. Again, the court said that whenever there is a conflict between the religion and for example, Uniform Civil Code or constitutional laws, then the constitution will prevail, parliament will prevail, legislation will prevail. Whenever state will try to make the law for the uniformity, for the non-discrimination, for the welfare of these societies, to maintain the order in the societies, for the health of these societies, for the betterment of the societies, then state can make the law and religion should not disturb it. They should watch from the different or from the distance only. And in this way, not only the directive principles of the Constitution, but Supreme Court also and other courts also said the same thing again and again, that instead of various personal religious laws for different communities, there should be common uniform civil code which will solve all the problems and will make the society homogeneous, free from the religious and say caste bias. Now we'll try to understand what are the benefits of this uniform civil code. Say, first of all, this uniform civil code, if applied, will again strengthen the secularism of India. It will plug the loopholes of various religions. Means these religious laws, these personal laws are biased, illogical, and hence they obstruct the progress of the nation. So instead of that, these laws, there should be a uniform civil code which will cause the equality, non-discrimination and protection of the human rights, particularly in case of the woman. And there will be justice, gender justice for women. Now these are the important benefits of the uniform civil code. Now question arises, is the India only where the uniform civil code is required or is a necessity? Not at all. There are also other countries in the world which are having uniform civil code. Take the Christian countries like America, UK. Those countries were also facing the problems of various religious laws, but they have passed the uniform civil code and they are marching ahead, they are progressing ahead. So there is uniform civil code not only in America but in also UK, Australia. There is a uniform civil code nearby our countries like Pakistan and Bangladesh. Their marriage registration is compulsory. The bigamy is easily not allowed. Not only in the Pakistan and Bangladesh, but also in Turkestan, in Tunisia, in Egypt, in Morocco, and in Sudan-like countries. There is a uniform civil code up to the extent the triple oral talaq is not allowed there. Also the same case is in the Indonesia and Malaysia. So there are different countries where for the different religions the similar like uniform civil code is there. Now take leave apart the examples of various countries regarding the uniform civil code. Take the example of Indian state. One of the states in India is called Goa. Goa was under the control of the Portuguese people up to the 1961. But after that it was freed and Goa became one of the states of the India. After even liberation, Goa continued the Portuguese law regarding the marriage, divorce and other things. It continued the uniform civil code which was prevalent at the time of the Portuguese rule. And today in Goa, there is a common civil law, there is a uniform civil code for the all religions regarding the marriage, divorce, inheritance, maintenance and adoption. Because of the uniformity in the application of the law for the all people, the uniformity in the Goa has become somewhat the homogeneous society. Now what can be applied in the Goa? What is applicable in the Goa in the form of universal civil code cannot be applied to the whole of India? Yes, it can be applied. But try to understand that India is a vast country. It is a country of diversity. When we wanted to see the uniformity in diversity. So what to now do? The India state can pass the uniform law, but care should be taken to see that the law uniform in the form of uniform civil code can be passed and implemented, but should be implemented in a piecemeal manner, not in a one stroke. Already we are seeing that the triple talaq by in the particular community has been overruled and the law has been passed to ban the triple talaq. Likewise, if it is passed in the piecemeal manner, there will be the cohesion, homogeneity in the society. Secularism will be strengthened and India will march ahead. India will be a uniform and united country with much stronger power and will. Now I think you have understood the common law, particularly on the Uniform Civil Code, in a better way. My again personal humble request to all of you is to like this video, to share this video, and also subscribe and tell the other people. Jai Hind.